Imagine getting a large package of silver shipped straight to your front doorstep for free by only having to click one button. Well, that's a reality around here, folks, because if you click subscribe, you will be entering my 100,000 subscriber giveaway. And there's going to be 2 winners. I will be announcing both winners' names right before I jump out of an airplane and go skydiving with a GoPro attached to my head. So I will be saying, and the winners are blank, and as soon as I say the second winner's name, I will jump out of an airplane. So you will be celebrating winning silver while I am hopefully not falling to my demise. So make sure you subscribe. Click the bell so you don't miss the entry video. This week's gold, silver, and palladium specials at Miles Franklin are 1 ounce palladium bars, $119 over spot, 1 ounce gold Volcambi bars, $59 over spot. Last but not least, the 1 ounce backdated maples, only $339 over spot. If you wanted to take advantage of this week's specials or wanted anything else from our massive inventory, one of the biggest inventories I've ever seen, then email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com. I will make sure to hook you up. Now, we have a lot to unpack in this video, folks. Listen to this headline. The silver shortage is much worse than Silver Institute reports. Silver Institute sponsors are now emailing Silver Academy, and we can't keep up. Now, I've been exposing the silver shortage for years, along with a handful of other people, but not many. I could say maybe 5 that really have been pushing the severity of this and how serious this problem is. But nowadays, it's becoming more mainstream. The Silver Academy's been doing a great job. But why has this been hidden? Why have people been purposely hiding silver's little secret of this massive shortage and this growing demand? Well, there's a lot of conspiracies now. Some of these might be correct. The Silver Institute, which I used to call the Holy Grail of information, because once they posted their numbers annually, everyone else went off of those numbers. So if those numbers were incorrect, you could see how damaging that could be. So let's check out this article. On March 19th, the Silver Institute scheduled to appear on Gold Chain Podcast to tell us to F off. Let's see if they really show up. That is going to be an interesting sight to see. Now, here are the top 10 silver mines in Mexico based on production and their respective owners. The data is 2 years old, and they say an asterisk next to company name means they sponsor the scammy Silver Institute. At the conclusion of this article, you will learn why many of these sponsor employees are beginning to write us displaying their enormous dissatisfaction with the Silver Institute supporting our reporting. Now, just a fun fact, Mexico and Peru, just those 2 countries alone, accumulate around 40+% of the total global silver mined. And Mexico and Peru got hit hard during the pandemic, and that's a huge reason why supply disruptions, not only just the borders cut off, that was a huge reason why, because not only were mines shut down, then when mines were put back online, there was few workers, safety precautions, it was a mess. But anyways, why are all eyes on Mexico and how the Silver Institute has done nothing? The total silver production in Mexico in 2022 was approximately 197,702 ounces. Mexico is the world's largest producer of silver, accounting for 24% of global production. The country's silver production has shown fluctuations due to its various factors like labor strikes and operational challenges at specific mines. Despite a projected decline in silver production by 2023, in 2023, also record-breaking supply deficits the last 2 years, Mexico remains a key player in global silver mining industry. Below is a table summarizing the top silver mines in Mexico based on their output in 2022. Now, you have the Penasquito mine, which is the biggest, which is production in millions of ounces, 32.4 million ounces. Remember, global demand is around 1.21 billion, maybe 1.2 up to 1.4 billion ounces. Some are speculating, especially since Silver Institute's numbers aren't factual anymore. But also the Fresnillo mine, that's a very popular one, 13.34 million ounces. Now, Mexico's silver production And this is annual change in percentage. You could see it's decline. It fell off a cliff. Mexico silver production down 25% in a short time. A lot of mines are getting protested, and unfortunately, even the silver mines, there's very few focal silver mines. Silver is a byproduct found by accident. So even when new mines try to come online, like there was one in Canada last year, but got protested and shut down before it even opened. And there's no possible way to fix this problem, especially given that silver is a byproduct. It's found by accident. Here's some facts about failures of the Silver Institute. In over 30 years, they have never reported on the primary uses of silver, military and aerospace. How can anyone take them seriously if they intentionally miss the primary inputs that paint the picture of supply versus demand? The Silver Institute has no employees. They are currently Mike Dorenzio and Paul Bateman, who work for Klein and Sachs Group. And these are the people that are supposedly going to attend the podcast event on March 19th. All silver investors understand that gold and silver represent the chief alternative to the US dollar, which lost its gold peg in 1971 and oil peg in 2023. Therefore, all precious metals advocacy groups, except the Silver Institute, criticize the practices of the Federal Reserve and the US Department of Treasury. They do so because gold and silver cannot be printed, whereas Federal Reserve notes are printed. And this is unconstrained monetary policy causing poverty, inflation, and wars, because the villagers would have never voted for 251 wars since 1991. All silver stackers can understand that Congress is involved in the theft on a massive scale through their insider briefings and trading energy, tech, and war stocks. No laws prohibit insider trading, yet ordinary citizens are jailed for this activity. This is slightly off topic, but we'll circle back to this soon. The topic is linked to the Federal Reserve note acting as a war bond. The Silver Institute has strong ties to the evil Federal Reserve, the pathetic Department of Treasury, and the immoral U.S. military, which is the only thing backing the U.S. dollar. So here's some, they're talking about the most powerful men on the planet. You wouldn't learn this following U.S. media. And that's something that Andy Scheckman and I talked about a little bit on our podcast we recorded today. By the way, highly recommend you check out tomorrow's podcast. It is the best podcast that I've ever done personally. And honestly, it might be the most important podcast that any silver stacker could watch. It was unbelievable how much we covered and how many new things were brought to light, important stuff. It was exciting. I'm really excited for you guys to show you guys this podcast. It was incredible. But anyways, we talked about censorship for U.S. media and how a lot of people don't know the extent of this censorship. They go in to talk about how these powerful people, or if it's safe to say that these powerful people are favoring the energy sector. Because remember, silver equals energy. That's well established. It's used for photovoltaic, which are PV cells, silver, lithium-ion batteries, zinc batteries, hydrogen fuel cells, along with a lot of other stuff like aerospace, military, batteries, medicine. There's colloidal silver. It's used in everything, right? But he's mentioning this because down here, the point is that if this is already happening, if he is taking control over or reclaiming control over critical resources like oil and lithium, is silver next? It's very possible. So here's the Secretary of Environment, and she's mentioning silver, no more open pit mining, no more fracking, and this is for mining clients. Silver Institute has yet anything to do to advocate for their mining clients. And then Pan American Silver reported AISC of $26.55, while Silver Institute called for $18 in their last scammy World Silver Survey. Remember, we discussed that Silver Institute in over 30 years has never released one public information campaign promoting silver. Why such a failure? Because they hate silver. Remember, this is all hearsay. This is all speculative. I can see a lot of data pointing or evidence pointing towards some of these claims, but remember, this is still speculative to some extent. But it is interesting that the Silver Institute would never promote silver. It's the Silver Institute, right? Especially given the evidence of them not only having to revise numbers or not only giving accurate numbers, that's also a red flag as well. And not incorporating military or aerospace, which use a lot of silver. Remember, there's up to 500 ounces of silver in a single Tomahawk missile. So dentists have them, roofers have them, dairy councils have them, beef industry has them, pizza restaurants, lawyers, everywhere, right? It's used everywhere. They have only promoted silver with disinformation, so it doesn't surprise me that Silver Institute's Twitter page shows that they do not even follow the tweets of Mexico's or the women that has the power to deny permits. That's the lady, the secretary. Suppose Silver Institute does not watch what is happening in their backyard. How can they advocate for their Mexican mining friends who are losing billions of dollars because Silver Institute's smashing down silver prices? So then they say below is proof that Silver Institute doesn't even watch what's happening because we follow the scammy Silver Institute and Mexico's influential decision makers on mining operations. It's easy to see that Silver Institute doesn't even try to do any social listening, which is step one in our modern world. If Silver Institute was trying to do more research on our friends south of the border, we recommend they follow Maria. They do not. So here's the conclusion. In contrast to the Silver Institute, Silver Academy has the highest respect for AMLO and his secretary. They have reached out to her and hope to discuss issues that are important to her constituents, and such as jobs that miners create or mining creates, and economic development, the environment, and water. But it's important to emphasize that, like the fracking debate, we all need the things: mobile phones, solar power, circuitry, computers, all powered by silver. So it's about the balance between future generations and modern living, a job much too big for the Silver Academy or the scammy Silver Institute. So yeah, there you have it. I thought this is a pretty interesting article. I mean, here's the thing. And Andy Schechtman actually did a interview with John Forrest Little last week on Gold Chain, which is supposedly on March 19th going to be debating the Silver Institute. And you guys should go check that out because there's a lot coming to light. Now, when I talk about the silver shortage being detrimental, I mean that because of the reasons we need silver. Why is gold 90 times more valuable than silver when silver has 90,000 times more uses than gold? And silver is literally making the world go round as the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity. Why? There's definitely some corruption going on here. And will we ever get to the bottom of it? Some have. I mean, if you read any of Ted Butler's work, he definitely exposes the COMEX on degrees I've never seen before. I mean, this is definitely a rabbit hole too deep for one man doing hours of research a day could find, but I've done my best. Hopefully you guys can see that in the videos I post on a daily basis. But regardless, the whole point is, and like Ted Butler said, is not, yes, silver's price is suppressed. Yes, it's rigged, but the fundamentals will overwrite any type of suppression eventually. This cannot go on forever. And once that bubble does pop, the sky's the limit. That's basically what, the whole point of a lot of Ted's work is mentioning. He's very, very, very bullish on silver, and rightfully so. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that silver's going to skyrocket tomorrow, and it's not even about skyrocketing. If silver does skyrocket, there's going to be a heavy cost to pay. At what price? Yes, we make a pretty penny, but at what cost? How nice is it going to be wealthy when the world is a crap show? So this is more, it's not about getting rich or making a lot of money. This is more for protecting your hard-earned dollars as our fiat system collapses, so you can still preserve your wealth. That's really the point of this, because if silver does skyrocket, that just means the dollar has plummeted, right? You got to look at it kind of backwards. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure that you check out the podcast, the episode tomorrow that I did with Andy Schechtman, because we recorded it about 2 hours ago. It was by far the best podcast I've ever done. Very important stuff was brought to light. I wish every silver stacker could watch this thing through its entirety, because if they did, you would be cool. Andy goes into some of the core stacking stuff with some of these companies that are scamming people out of certain types of coins and tricking the elderly and vulnerable people. And we went into BRICS nations, we went into the border crisis, we went into so many different things. And by the end, I was just like I was like so proud, like, wow, like this episode was amazing. And I really hope everyone gets a chance to watch it, so make sure that you guys do. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Remember, if you guys wanted a chance to win silver and watch me jump out of an airplane, which I'm terrified to do, but I wanted to do the craziest thing I could think of. I was like, how could I make this giveaway insane? And I thought of the most insane thing possible, and unfortunately, skydiving was the most insane thing possible, so got to do it. It's not like I could just skip the craziest thing. I said I'll do the craziest thing. So, yeah, I'm a man of my word. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Peace.